When you stop running from yourself, the mind finally becomes a place you can live in. Stoicism begins right there. True strength starts with honesty. When you face reality without distortion, you stop wasting energy on denial and excuses. Stoicism teaches that clarity is power. You look at what you can control, accept what you cannot, and move forward with purpose. The mind becomes steady when you train it to respond instead of react. Each challenge becomes a chance to practice discipline. Each emotion becomes a reminder to return to reason. Each day becomes an opportunity to shape yourself into someone sharper, calmer, and harder to shake. This path is simple. It is not easy. It demands that you confront your weaknesses, choose responsibility over comfort, and stay centered even when everything around you feels uncertain. But the reward is a mind that is no longer pulled by fear, anger, or impulse. The reward is inner authority. In the end, Stoicism is not about feeling nothing. It is about feeling on your own terms. It is about choosing clarity over chaos, action over avoidance, and truth over illusion. When you master the mind, you master your life. What if I told you that the biggest reason people feel tired, lost, or stuck today is not because life is too hard, but because discipline has become optional? We confuse exhaustion with weakness. We tell ourselves we are burnt out, drained, overwhelmed. But the truth is sharper. We are not tired. We are undisciplined. We lose battles in our minds long before they ever reach the real world. We leak energy into things we cannot control and then wonder why we have nothing left for the things we can. Meanwhile, the ancient Stoics had already mastered the very lessons we struggle with today. They lived in worlds full of chaos, betrayal, war, uncertainty, and pain, yet they carried themselves with clarity and strength. They did not waste time wishing life were easier. They trained themselves to become stronger. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, and one of the greatest Stoics once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That is not just philosophy. That is a blueprint for becoming unshakable. It is a weapon, a discipline, a way of standing firm in the middle of storms that crush other people. This is not a motivational speech. This is a wake-up call. Stoicism is not about good vibes and soft comfort. It is about reclaiming the power that we give away every time we get upset, distracted, or discouraged by things that never belonged to us in the first place. Today we are breaking down the core Stoic lessons that can reshape your life mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Lessons forged in ancient struggle and still brutally relevant now. Before we begin, do one thing. Stay present. Do not treat this like background noise. Listen with intention, because even one idea here can change the way you think for the rest of your life. And if something hits hard, acknowledge it. That is the first step of discipline. Let's begin. Number 1. You are not tired. You are undisciplined. This is the truth most people run from. We label every discomfort as exhaustion. Every challenge as burnout. Every struggle as a sign that we should rest or quit. But the Stoics saw through that illusion. What we call tired is often the fatigue of a mind that has lost control of itself. We are drained not because we work too hard, but because we work against ourselves. We waste energy trying to change what we cannot change. We obsess over opinions, reactions, outcomes, fears, future events, imaginary problems. Then we look at the things we should be doing, the responsibilities, the habits, the goals, and we say, "I am too tired." But your body is capable of far more than you think. Your mind is the part that slows down. And discipline is the fuel that wakes it up. When you stop negotiating with your excuses, you discover energy you never knew you had. When you stop letting emotion dictate your action, you realize you were never truly tired. You were simply untrained. The Stoics lived in a world without comfort, without convenience, without the distractions that weaken our will today. And yet they were powerful because their strength came from within. They trained the mind first. And when the mind is disciplined, the body follows. From this moment forward, question your exhaustion. Ask yourself honestly, am I tired or am I avoiding the work? Because the moment you stop giving your feelings the final vote, your strength multiplies. You become someone who moves because the mission matters, not because motivation is convenient. Number 2. Focus only on what is within your power. This is the foundation of Stoic strength. Everything begins here. The Stoics divided life into 2 categories: what you can control and what you cannot. And nearly all modern suffering comes from mixing the two. We try to control other people, their opinions, their reactions, their decisions. We try to control outcomes: success, recognition, timing, opportunities. We try to control the external world: weather, luck, circumstances, obstacles. And every time we fail, we feel powerless because we invested our energy in something that was never ours to shape. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." Your power exists in 3 places: your thoughts, your choices, and your actions. That is your territory. Everything else is noise. Everything else is borrowed space. Everything else belongs to fate, chance, or other people. Imagine how much lighter your mind becomes when you release what was never yours. Imagine how much clearer your days feel when all your energy goes toward what you can influence. Imagine how many arguments disappear when you stop trying to control what other people think. Imagine how much suffering ends when you accept that outcomes do not belong to you, only effort does. You cannot control whether someone respects you, but you control how you carry yourself. You cannot control whether life gives you easy opportunities, but you control whether you train for hard ones. You cannot control what comes your way, but you control how you meet it. This is how the Stoic becomes unshakable, by narrowing their power to the only place it truly exists. Number 3. Everything outside your control must be released. Letting go is not weakness. It is strength. The Stoics did not believe in apathy. They believed in precision. They knew that emotional chaos begins the moment you cling to something that does not belong to you. When you expect others to agree. When you expect life to be fair. When you expect plans to unfold perfectly. When you expect people to stay. This attachment creates suffering. It makes you reactive, angry, fearful, resentful. Stoicism teaches the opposite. You cannot lose what you never owned. You never owned someone's loyalty. You never owned the approval of strangers. You never owned the reward for your efforts. You never owned the path life was supposed to give you. What belongs to you is the way you respond, the way you think, the way you choose your next move. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The pain is not from the thing itself, but from your judgment of it. And this you can revoke at any moment." This is freedom. The ability to step back, detach, and reclaim your power instead of giving it away to things that move without your permission. Next time something upsets you, pause and ask, was this ever under my control? If the answer is no, let it go. Not because you do not care, but because you choose not to be ruled by what was never yours. Number 4. Your mind is the only battlefield that matters. Every victory and every defeat begins inside your thoughts. Most people lose because they let their minds wander. They let fear speak louder than reason. They let impulses override discipline. They let emotions decide the direction of their lives. But the Stoics saw the mind as a fortress. A place to guard, strengthen, and command with intention. You cannot control the storms of the world. But you can control the storm inside you. You cannot stop people from speaking. But you can decide whether their words enter your mind. You cannot guarantee success. But you can guarantee that you show up with clarity, focus, and purpose. The mind is your weapon. Ignored, it turns against you. Trained, it becomes unstoppable. Number 5. Discipline is the gateway to freedom. Most people misunderstand discipline. They see it as restriction, limitation, punishment. The Stoics saw it as liberation. When you live without discipline, you are ruled by impulses. You skip the hard work because the feeling is uncomfortable. You avoid responsibility because the mood is not right. You procrastinate because the moment is not convenient. And suddenly your life becomes a sequence of emotional reactions instead of intentional choices. But discipline cuts the chains. Discipline allows you to act without waiting for motivation. Discipline lets you move even when fear tries to hold you still. Discipline gives you control over the one thing that shapes your destiny: your behavior. You are not tired. You are undisciplined. And discipline can be trained step by step, moment by moment, choice by choice. Number 6. Practice voluntary hardship to build unbreakable will. In a world addicted to comfort, every avoidance is a weakness. The Stoics understood that strength is forged in discomfort, not in ease. Seneca wrote, "Set aside a number of days in which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, coarse dress, and simple living." This was not punishment. This was training. This was preparing the mind and body to endure whatever life could throw at them without losing composure. Think about modern life. We have climate control, endless food options, constant entertainment, and convenience at every turn. We never feel hunger, fatigue, boredom, or challenge in a way that strengthens our will. Then life throws something real at us. A rejection, a loss, an illness, a betrayal. And we break because we never trained for hardship. The Stoics trained deliberately. They took cold baths, practiced fasting, slept on hard floors, faced fear and rejection intentionally. And when real pain came, they were already prepared. You must choose this training. Fasting for a day to test self-control. Cold showers to condition your body and mind. Waking early when your body wants to sleep. Sitting in silence when the mind screams for distraction. Saying no to comfort and luxury to remind yourself that you control your desires. Each voluntary hardship is a small fire. Each choice to endure discomfort builds your mind and your character. When you practice this consistently, the world cannot intimidate you. You meet challenges with calm because you have walked through fire before. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire through plagues, wars, and betrayal. Why was he calm in the storm? Because hardship was expected. He had trained for it every day. And when you train like this, you will be unstoppable. Life will challenge you, and you will rise because you have already been tested. Number 7. Detach from outcomes. Fall in love with the process. Most people define themselves by results. Did you get the promotion? Did you succeed in the deal? Did your partner stay? Did your project go viral? Success or failure defines your identity, and every shift in outcome becomes emotional turbulence. The Stoics saw this as a trap. Your effort is under your control. Results are not. When you tie your value to outcomes, you are fragile, reactive, and anxious. But when you tie your value to disciplined effort, to consistent showing up, to mastery of action, you are unbreakable. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Your task is to focus entirely on the action itself. Write because you love sharpening your mind. Train because your body deserves mastery. Build because your craft demands presence. Let the results fall where they may. If you detach from the outcome, you paradoxically start winning more. Your mind is clear. Your focus is sharp. You are no longer desperate, no longer swayed by emotions, no longer at the mercy of external forces. You control the effort, and the effort always produces strength, character, and growth. Number 8. Embrace death. Live with urgency and purpose. Most people live like they will never die. They postpone growth, delay dreams, cling to toxic relationships, tolerate mediocrity, and settle for convenience. The Stoics meditated on death not to be grim, but to awaken. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." The recognition of mortality is freedom. It sharpens priorities. It removes illusions. It focuses attention on what matters. Memento mori is not fear. It is presence. It is urgency. Seneca reminded us that we do not have a short time, we waste it. Every moment delayed is a moment that cannot return. Stop waiting for someday. Start now. Speak truthfully. Love deeply. Work with intensity. Take risks because the worst failure is a life left untried. When you live in awareness of death, life is no longer negotiable. It becomes precious, intentional, and powerful. Conclusion. You are not tired. You are undisciplined. The Stoics teach that your mind, your choices, and your actions are yours to control. Everything else, let go. Pain, hardship, loss, chaos, and struggle are inevitable. Comfort, laziness, and attachment to outcomes are optional. Train the mind. Embrace discomfort. Focus on what is yours. Live consciously. Act with virtue. Accept mortality. Detach from approval. Master your attention. Face struggle. Rehearse discipline daily. Take full responsibility. Choose courage over comfort. Align with purpose. Strength is built in the daily practice of these truths. When you live this way, you become unstoppable. Not because life is fair. Not because others recognize you. Not because motivation is constant. But because your inner fortress is real. Your mind is trained. Your character is forged. Your actions are deliberate. Your life is aligned. You are unshakable from within. You are free. And that strength is rare, authentic, and yours to claim today. Drop this affirmation now. I am disciplined, focused, and unshakable day by day. Live it, breathe it, embody it, and never give your power away again.